You know, a lot of guys who comment on my channel ask me to help them with girls. They ask me, advice about girls, where to meet girls, what kind of girls, this, that, the other, all the kinds of girl stuff, right? Now, I'm not really interested in making my channel into a pickup artist type channel. I'm just not interested in that at all. I think that, frankly, there are more interesting things to talk about. Okay, but I realize, you have to give people what they want sometimes, right? So I'm going to give you guys what you want. This is the start of a series of 7 on the issue of women, of where to find women, what to do with women, first date, insurance, all kinds of stuff that you should keep in mind with regards to women. Okay? Now, I think I know why guys ask me about this, because you see, I've never been good with girls, or let me rephrase that. I was never a natural with girls. I had to work at it, okay? And I've come to the conclusion that everything worthwhile in life is something that you have to practice, you have to work at it. You practice enough hours at any given task, and you'll turn pro in whatever it is. Now, insofar as girls are concerned, I was never a natural. I was the opposite of a natural, right? Until 1986, when I was 18 years old. I remember it very clearly. I just turned 18. I was going to business school, first year. And it was one of those like Wharton type programs, like BA, MBA all in one, right? And like the first week of class, right? I remember I somehow wound up talking to the 2 prettiest girls in my class. A girl called Nicole and a girl called Paula, I think her name was. I'm not sure about her name, but I remember her very clearly. She was gorgeous. She had like blonde curly hair, and the other had like cafe au lait skin and blue eyes and curly hair. She was just so smoking hot. They were both smoking hot, right? And there I was talking to these 2 girls, and I started to make them laugh. Not laugh at me, okay? Not laugh at me, laugh with me. I said some things, I forget what it was, but I made them laugh. And I remember that moment clear as day. I remember as if it were yesterday, as a matter of fact. I made them laugh, and this universe opened up to me. And I realized how I could get girls. Just make them laugh. And that semester, instead of studying like economics and management and all that bullshit, right? I just dedicated it to chasing girls. I just chased girls and tried to make them laugh. It was like set in my head that I'm going to make these girls laugh no matter what, right? I was wildly successful with girls, and of course got kicked out. I flunked out. It was like pretty damn funny, but oh well, spilt milk. But the point is that I'm trying to make, is that I wasn't naturally good at girls. I practiced and got good at girls, and today, as a grown man, for me, women are a secondary, if not tertiary problem, as they are for most men. So you see, because they are. There are other things that are much more important than women. Now, you who are watching this, a lot of guys in my audience, not you specifically perhaps, but a lot of other people in my audience, for them, women are an issue, a major issue, like a life-defining issue, and they go on and on grinding about this problem with women, right? And it's their #1 concern. And they hear me say that, oh, for me, women are like a secondary or tertiary problem. And they're like, you must be on drugs, man. Women are it. Women are the most important thing. Ah! Right? They go like that, probably. Right. Because you see, somebody who lacks women finds it an insurmountable and existential problem. Whereas once you realize how to get good at girls, it becomes, secondary or tertiary problem, you see? It's sort of like if you're homeless. Say you're homeless. You're homeless, so therefore shelter, having shelter or not having shelter, that's a big deal. You're homeless, so you're sleeping out, outside at night, in the rain and the crud, and it's miserable, right? So for you, shelter is a very, very big deal. Right? Ditto if you're starving to death. If you're starving, food is an issue. You are worried about food. You want to get food. It's the #1 concern on your mind, right? But what happens if you figure out how to get shelter? I mean, you know how to make the money so that you can pay for the rent or the mortgage or whatever. What happens if you know how to get the money to buy food at the supermarket or whatever? Then shelter, then food ceases to be a primary concern. Shelter becomes an issue of like, do I want to live in this neighborhood or perhaps in this other neighborhood? Food becomes, you know, which restaurant am I going to go to tonight? You know, I heard that one over there got good reviews, so maybe we'll go there. You see my point? Once you know how to handle a problem, it becomes secondary and you can focus on the big problems. And the big problems in a man's life are what constitutes the good life, how to be a moral man in today's society, and what does that constitute, how to get ahead and achieve the objectives you have in the different areas of your life before your time on this earth is up. Those are the important questions you should be concerned about. Women are secondary or tertiary, as the case may be. But if you're not getting any women, of course, it becomes a primary problem. So I'm going to do this series of 7 videos about women, about, you know, the challenges of getting women and how that all operates and stuff. Okay, and the first one I'm going to talk about, the title of this video is Where to Go to Meet Women. Now, where to go to meet women is actually a trick question on my part. Because see, when you start thinking to yourself, where do I go to meet women? You start needing to define a much more important question, which is, what sort of woman am I looking for? What purpose do I want this woman to serve in my life? You see? Because, you see, there are different sorts of women, and they congregate in different places in the world. Okay? Think about it. You see, a lot of guys who don't know much about women say that, you know, you find women at clubs, at dance clubs or singles bars or some shit like that. And I'm like, no, you don't find women there. I mean, of course, you do find women. But the women who are there, why are they there? Because they're DTF. They're down to fuck. They're looking for a one-night stand, probably. Not in all cases. Lots of times women go there, especially like gaggles of girls, they'll go to some club or some bar just to have a drink and have a good time with each other. They're not, you know, down to fuck. But you go to some club, right? And you go up to the bar of that club and there's that girl and she's turned out to the nines, right? And she's looking around and her eyes are roving and she's just like sipping her drink and just her eyes are roving. What do you think that woman is there for? Huh? To find the love of her life? No! She's there to fuck. She's looking for a one-night stand. That's why she's there, right? Now, how do I know this is true? Very simple. Please tell me, how many times have you met some couple that's been married for 30, 40, 50 years and they have like a bunch of children? How many such couples told you gleefully that they met at some club and that they both had a one-night stand with one another and the next morning they discovered that they were in love and they lived happily ever after? How many such stories do you know? Huh? 5, 10, 20, 30? Because me personally, I don't know one story that sounds like that. Not a one. And I will bet you that those couples who actually, you know, do get married and have kids and get married and stay married for 30 and 40 years, who actually did meet at some club where they were looking for a one-night stand, I bet you that out of sheer embarrassment, they don't admit it. They probably lie. Yeah, of course, because it's embarrassing, you know. Nobody wants to have that story. Oh yeah, you know, I picked her up, it was a one-night stand, and she was all right, so I married her. What the fuck, right? Okay, so at some club, you're not going to meet the girl who's going to be the love of your life, okay? You're going to meet some girl who's down to fuck, right? That same girl might want to have kids and settle down and have a family and all the rest of it, but at that moment, that's not what she's looking for. At that moment, she's looking for cock, okay? So if you're looking for pussy, go there, yeah. But you see the problem that I'm trying to highlight. You see, you have to figure out what sort of woman you want. And once you have defined her, then you start figuring out where you're going to find that sort of girl. You see what I'm saying? And the fact of the matter is, you see, No matter what sort of girl she might be, there is always a place where you will find such a girl, such sorts of girls, okay? For example, suppose you want to meet a nice, chaste girl, you know, between the ages of 18 and 25, who wants to have several children and get married and live happily ever after and be a stay-at-home mom. Where would you go to find such a girl? I can tell you 2 places right off the bat where you can find such a girl. Church groups, definitely. Church groups, girls who are church-going and who help out and do volunteer work for their church, whatsoever that church may be. You're going to find lots of those girls, and they all have the same mentality. They're usually very chaste, usually very interested in children and having a family, okay? You can find them there. Say that you're a secularist, right? Where would you find the same sorts of girls? Well, what sort of girl will go to university who really, really likes children? Early education girls, you know, the girls who go to college to learn how to be, you know, preschool teachers, those kinds of girls, right? You're going to meet them there, right? You see what I'm saying? You see how I'm helping you, or I hope I'm helping you to think through the problem. Figure out the kind of girl that you want to be with, and then figure out where that sort of girl is going to congregate. You see what I'm saying? Like, say you want to meet like some really, really sharp girl, some really smart girl, like a professional girl. Now, where would such a girl go? She would likely go to a gym, or even better, a place that's been, you know, very fruitful for me, yoga classes. Oh yeah, I was living in one city one time, major city, and it doesn't matter, it was Paris. Okay, this was 2011, 2012. I was living there and I didn't really speak French, okay? And so, and I wanted to meet people. And some friend of mine told me, you should go to yoga classes. I was like, okay, I'll go to yoga class. I'd never gone to yoga class, so I went, you know. And I bought the stupid mat and the whole shit, and I went to a yoga class, and holy cow, you know, all the girls were pretty good looking. And there were different age groups at different hours of the day. See, like in the morning, like, you know, 10, 11-ish, you know, you'd get the married women or the divorcees who were, you know, like in their 40s, late 30s, 40s, trying to stay in shape. But like the young professionals, they'd wind up going like at 6, 7 p.m. That's when I started going, right? Yeah, they were all over the place, you know. Young, very attractive, very, very in shape, you know, doing all that yoga and shit, right? Of course they were hot. Of course they were like, you know, and they were interested in me because I was funny, because, you know, I'd learned the lesson, right? But the point I'm trying to make, see, you go to different places depending on the sort of woman that you're looking for. There is not one spot on this earth where you're going to find every woman. It's impossible. You have to go where you will find the kind of woman that you are looking for. Think of it like hunting, because in a sense, you're hunting for women, right? Okay, so how do you hunt? Let's say that you want to hunt, I don't know, you want to hunt a giraffe, okay? Okay, I just said it, so I'll go with it. Okay, you want to hunt a giraffe. So where do you go to hunt a giraffe? Do you go to the North Pole? No, because you're going to find polar bears, but no giraffes, right? Do you go to the Amazon? No, you're going to find crocodiles, but no giraffes. Do you go to the African savanna to find giraffes? Yes, because that's where you'll find giraffes, in the African savanna. And I'll bet you'll find them close to some watering hole or some oasis or something like that, right? Of course. And where do you find crocodiles and alligators? You find them in swamplands, right? You see what I'm trying to say here? Again, you know, I'm not being very articulate, you know, because the camera starts and I sound like a fucking idiot, at least to myself, you know, so fuck it. You know, this will have to do. But the point I'm trying to make here, and it's a very simple point, don't go to a club. A club, you're going to meet one kind of woman, a girl who's down to fuck. But if that's not what you're looking for, don't go there. I never go to clubs, personally. I've never been good at clubs, okay? The only times I enjoy going to clubs are when I am already dating somebody, and usually with a group, okay? A group of friends, of course. Okay, go there, get a VIP table, sit around, have drinks, have a laugh, you know, do a little dancing, you know, that's great when it's just a nice little hermetic group of friends, right? But just going there to meet people, fuck no. It's hot, it's crowded, you know, and it's late at night and I get sleepy. I like to go to bed at a reasonable hour. I don't fucking want to go to a fucking club. And therefore, since I don't want to go, I'm not going to be in the mood for it. You see what I'm saying? So since I'm not going to be in the mood for it, I'm not going to be successful. So if I go to a club, I'm not going to meet any kind of woman I really want to have any kind of relationship with except, you know, one night stand. I'm not going to be at my best. And since I'm not going to be at my best, more likely than not, I will fail to land some girl. And so I will feel shitty about myself. So why would I go to a club to meet a woman? I don't. You see what I'm trying to say here, see? See, the places where you go, they have to fit you. Therefore, you have to know yourself, know who you are, know your strengths and weaknesses. If you're a charismatic guy, okay, who knows how to dress sharp and knows how to handle himself in a club, by all means, go. You're a better man than I, okay? But if you don't, then why would you expose yourself to such a thing? One of the places that I used to go to a lot to pick up girls is bookstores, right? Because I love books. I can talk intelligently about books. You know, so it didn't seem I was a fraud just at some bookstore just to pick up some girls, right? And you know, lo and behold, I'd get a couple of numbers and there I'd have a first couple of dates, right? It was easy, okay? Because the bookish girls go to bookstores. You know, some girl who's sitting on the floor at a Barnes & Noble with some book open in front of her on her lap, right? And a stack of books next to her that she's gonna buy, you know, and you're bookish, well, how do you think this is gonna work? Well or badly? Probably very well. You see what I'm saying? And some girl at some club, you know, some empty-headed little bimbo who doesn't know shit from Shinola, you think that that girl, you know, is going to connect on an emotional and intellectual level with you? Huh? Chances are not, right? Right. See what I'm saying? Figure who you are. Figure the sort of woman that you want to get. And based on those factors, find out where that sort of woman is going to be. Okay? Now there's also the online issue, okay? Now online, I'm not that familiar with it, okay? My thinking is as follows. See, a lot of times the online shit, it benefits those people who are photogenic, you know? Those people who aren't photogenic, who, you know, who are just average looking, they don't do particularly well in like Tinder and shit like that. Because those apps, they favor people who look good in pictures. I mean, I look like shit on a video. Look at me, you've seen my videos. How do I look? Do I look good or bad? Would you like to have sex with me based on my videos? Yes or no? Huh? I'm guessing not, right? Right, you know, I don't look good on video, okay? I don't look good on camera, okay? So I wouldn't use those apps. I'm just saying this to emphasize the point, okay? Because sometimes the point has to be emphasized so it's really, really fucking clear. Know who you are, your strengths and weaknesses. Know what sort of woman you're looking for. And then go to where that sort of woman will congregate. It's very simple. Now, I'm doing the series, and on the one hand, I don't know about doing the series, quite frankly, but I realize it's an important thing because a lot of guys waste way too much goddamn energy on the female issue. It's a simple problem. Women are simple. I'm going to be going through women in the next, well, this is the first one, so in the next 6 episodes. But I just want you to be clear about something. Finding a woman is not rocket science. And do you know how I can instantly prove this? Very simple. There are relatively few rocket scientists on this earth. But there are 7 billion people on this earth, and each and every one of them was the product of some man and some woman getting together. Simple as that. It's not more complicated than that. It is simple. If you recognize that it is a fundamentally simple problem, and it is a problem that you can easily solve, then women become a secondary issue. And therefore, you can focus on the really important things in life. Okay? Okay.